There is a popular idea that eating local honey can ease seasonal allergies by gently exposing you to local pollens. The evidence for that specific claim is mixed and far from settled, so I will not oversell it. What is better supported is the broad immune and anti-inflammatory benefit of the antioxidants and trace compounds in raw honey taken consistently, regardless of where it is from. For immune support, the daily teaspoon remains your foundation, and you can lean on honey more deliberately at the first sign of a scratchy throat. Stir it into warm, never-boiling water with a squeeze of lemon, or simply take it straight off the spoon to let it coat the throat directly. The straight spoonful is genuinely the most effective delivery for a sore throat. Keep a jar of real raw honey in the house the way you would keep any basic remedy. It does not expire, it costs little per use, and it gives you a gentle, evidence-backed first response for the small, everyday assaults on your immune system, long before you reach for anything stronger. Number 6. Wound and skin healing, the 3,000-year medicine. This is the answer to the hook from the start of this video. Honey has been found in ancient tombs, thousands of years old, still perfectly preserved and edible. The same property that lets it last forever is exactly what makes it a wound healer that modern hospitals still use today. Honey almost never spoils because it is a hostile environment for microbes. It is extremely low in water and high in sugar, which draws moisture out of any bacteria that land in it, and its slow peroxide release and acidity finish the job. Spread onto a wound, that same combination draws fluid away from the tissue, keeps bacteria from taking hold, and creates a moist, protected environment in which skin can rebuild. This is not folklore. Medical-grade honey dressings are a real, regulated product used in hospitals for burns, ulcers, and wounds that resist ordinary treatment. Certain honeys, like genuine Manuka, are prized for an additional, non-peroxide antibacterial compound that makes them especially potent. The honey in your kitchen is not sterilized for clinical use, but the principle that makes those dressings work is the very same chemistry. Think about why honey never spoils, because it is the key to all of this. Honey is hygroscopic, meaning it pulls water toward itself, and it is naturally acidic. A bacterium that lands in honey has the water sucked out of it through simple osmosis and is hit with acidity and that slow peroxide release at the same time. It is an environment almost nothing can survive in. That is why a sealed jar lasts essentially forever, and it is exactly why a wound coated in honey stays protected from infection while the body underneath does its repair work in a clean, moist field. There is a forward-looking reason this matters more every year. As antibiotic resistance grows and some bacteria stop responding to our strongest drugs, researchers have circled back to honey with real interest because microbes struggle to develop resistance to it. Honey does not attack with a single mechanism the way an antibiotic does. It overwhelms with several at once: the osmosis, the acidity, the peroxide, the plant compounds, and that combined assault is very hard for a microbe to evolve around. An ancient remedy is quietly becoming a frontier of modern research. At home, raw honey makes a gentle, effective treatment for minor skin issues. As a simple face mask, it can calm redness and acne thanks to its antibacterial action, and it holds moisture against the skin without stripping it. A thin layer left on for 15 or 20 minutes and rinsed with warm water is the entire recipe, and it costs a fraction of most products promising the same. For a minor scrape or burn at home, a thin layer of raw honey under a clean dressing can soothe and protect while it heals. For anything serious, deep, or infected, this is a complement to proper medical care, never a replacement for it, and you should always see a professional. Used sensibly for the small stuff, though, that jar is one of the oldest and best proven remedies humanity has. The accessible takeaway is that this single jar quietly replaces several things: a throat remedy, a basic wound salve, a simple face mask, and a nightly sleep aid, all in one inexpensive, shelf-stable food. Few things in any kitchen earn their place so many times over. Number 7. Choosing real honey. How not to get fooled. Everything in this video depends on one thing, that the honey you buy is actually raw and actually honey. And here is the uncomfortable reality: a great deal of the honey on store shelves is heavily processed, and some of it is diluted or even counterfeit, cut with cheap syrups. If you get this step wrong, none of the rest works. Start with the label, but do not trust it blindly. The word natural means nothing. The word pure means little. What you are looking for is the word raw, ideally alongside unfiltered or unpasteurized, and a single, clear source. Vague blends, labeled as a product of multiple countries, are the ones most associated with adulteration. The best honey usually comes from a named local beekeeper or a trusted small producer. Trust your eyes. Real raw honey is often cloudy, not crystal clear, because it still contains pollen and tiny particles. Over time, it will crystallize, turning grainy or solid, and this is a sign of authenticity, not spoilage. Honey that stays perfectly clear and liquid for years has almost certainly been heated and ultra-filtered, stripped of the very things you are paying for. If it crystallizes, gently warming the jar in warm water brings it back without harm. It is worth understanding why so much fake honey exists, because it makes you a sharper buyer. Honey is expensive to produce honestly, and there's enormous demand, which creates a powerful incentive to cut it with cheap rice or corn syrup, or to import ultra-processed honey of unknown origin and relabel it. Investigations have repeatedly found that a meaningful share of honey on the global market is adulterated or mislabeled. None of this is to scare you, only to explain why a vague jar from an unknown blend is a genuine gamble, and why proximity to the actual beekeeper is your best protection. A quick word on variety, because it matters for what you are after. Darker honeys, like buckwheat, tend to carry more antioxidants than the pale, mild ones. Manuka, from the tea tree of New Zealand and Australia, carries that special extra antibacterial compound and is graded for potency, which is why it costs the most and is favored for therapeutic use. For everyday purposes, a good local raw honey is excellent. If you specifically want maximum antimicrobial punch for the throat and wound uses, a genuine graded Manuka is the one to keep alongside it. There are rough home tests. Real honey is thick and drips in a slow, unbroken ribbon, while watered-down honey runs thin and fast. Real honey resists dissolving instantly in cold water, sinking in a lump before it spreads. These tests are not laboratory grade, and I would not stake everything on them, but combined with a trustworthy source, they tilt the odds firmly in your favor. The single best move is to buy from someone who can tell you where the honey came from. A local beekeeper at a market, a reputable small apiary, a farm stand. You pay a little more than you would for a plastic bear at the supermarket, but you are buying the real, living substance this entire video is about, rather than a syrup wearing its name. You do not need 10 jars. You need one good one, stored at room temperature with the lid sealed, away from heat. That single, honest jar, used a teaspoon at a time, is the entire foundation for everything we have covered, and it will last you longer than you would think. Step back and look at what one jar actually offers. A food that pushes back against candida, that calms and helps reseal an inflamed gut, that feeds the microbes shaping your mood, that quietly fuels your brain through the night so you stop waking at 3, that supports your immune system, and that has served as a wound medicine for longer than recorded history. All of it from something most people treat as a sugar substitute, and nothing more. What ties all of these together is a single idea. Raw honey is not powerful because it is sweet. It is powerful because it is alive, full of enzymes, antioxidants, special sugars, and trace compounds that processing destroys. The moment you understand that, the choice between a cheap squeeze bottle and a real jar from a beekeeper stops